Well, this doesn't really look like a Joanna bench, does it, Mike?
Do you know what? I don't think I've seen this much sugar on the table all season.
Well, let's separate some eggs, shall we? I'm starting with a really healthy food. I'm going to blame my mother entirely for this recipe. You know that my niece and nephews have two grannies, and they early on decided, well, they had to have different names for their grannies, and so the other granny is normal granny. My mum is naughty granny. So this is naughty granny's recipe. This was like her signature dessert when she was having a dinner party when I was growing up. It's called a Gateau Diane.
Is this from Scotland? Is this a Scottish dish, or is this...
Well, it
where's
sounds
this
very
originate
French, but to be honest, I really don't know where it came from. Back in those days, you know, that was when all the mums would swap recipes, and I've got this fabulous handwritten recipe book that was my mum's, and it's in there. And so I think it was passed on from, I don't know, Marjorie Jackson to my mum, and she got it from someone else and from my cousin. So goodness knows where the original origin was. All I know is it's my mum's Gateau Diane.
Okay.
So
I love that.
So we first of all essentially make some coffee meringues. So I'm just going to beat these egg whites. We're going to keep the yolks because that is going into our chocolate fondant.
This is... Honestly, you've lent into this, Jo. You really have. Like,
really
you've gone,
have.
you know what? I get one shot.
That's what I reckoned. I get one bad chef recipe. I'm going all in, all in. So basically, we're going to whip the egg whites until we get those nice soft peaks, just as a traditional meringue. I'll add the sugar, and I'm going to add a little bit of instant coffee powder, so we get that lovely coffee flavour through the meringue. Okay, lovely.
Beautiful gloss to that.
So nice, thick. Basically, that's what my mum always taught me. When you see those peaks form, you're there. So all I've done is I've just used the bottom of my cake tin to draw these little circles onto the plate. So it's about a, 7-inch or so circle. And then all you want to do is just divide your meringue mixture between the 4 circles. So just give them a dollop on each one.
That is a really gorgeous, thick meringue.
Isn't
it's
it lovely?
A great consistency.
And I do love, I'm a bit of a coffee fan, I have to admit. But yeah, the coffee addition to it just somehow really works. This is a very grown-up dessert. Fun for the big kids.
And this is exactly how your mum used to make it, with the coffee and the meringue. Everything.
Exactly. Yeah. The only thing that is different is in the fondant. She used to use something called camp coffee.
Okay.
And it was like I've got a feeling, I might be right, I'm sure that a viewer is going to tell me what this is, but I'm sure camp coffee was something that was used kind of during the war when there was a shortage of coffee. Because it's actually mostly, well, sugar is the first ingredient, but it's more chicory than it is coffee, and there's a smaller amount of coffee in it. But anyway, we can't get camp coffee here, so I'm just going to use an espresso. Just use your spatula to spread it out right to the edges of your circle. When I quizzed my mum about this is what's quite funny. She said you bake them in the oven at 80 degrees, so quite a low oven, and you just leave them overnight. So I said, well, Mum, you need to tell me how long overnight. Yeah. Is that 8 hours? Is it 10 hours? Is it 6 hours? And she said, well, I don't know. I make the meringues after dinner. I put them in the oven, and when I get up in the morning, I take them out. And then she said, oh, the meringues will just be crispier if they're in longer. So what I took from that is, don't worry too much about the length of time the meringue is in the oven. The oven's really low, and all you have to do is just make sure that you leave it overnight in that low oven, bring them out, and they'll be perfect, I promise. So I have already made some meringues, and this is what they look like in the morning. We have 4 beautiful meringue layers. So let's just pop them to one side, because now our task is to make our fondant. So I have a clean bowl. Basically now we have to make our chocolate coffee fondant icing, or fondant for the layers in the middle. So, pack of butter for you, because I know you love your butter, Mike.
One of my favourite ingredients, finally being shown in all its beauty by Dr. Jo.
Basically, the filling is butter, egg yolks, coffee, sugar, and I'm gonna make a sugar syrup, and dark chocolate.
I love the flavours going on in this, Jo. Like, some beautiful flavour combinations.
I thought you would like this one. Yeah. So, in here, I'm going to put just some water, and I've got another bowl of sugar. And the trick here is to make it into like a sugar syrup. So I'm just going to stir the sugar into the water, and you want to bring this to a simmer and let it simmer for about 5 minutes or so until Mum's instructions were until you get a thread forming at the end of a skewer. Now what that basically means is you've made quite a nice thick syrup. I've got some dark chocolate chips here and I'm just going to melt those on a bowl over some simmering water. Mike's going to beat the butter for me. I've got my syrup forming, I'm melting the dark chocolate, then we're going to beat the egg yolks, and then essentially we combine all those ingredients together. So see how really beautifully thick that fondant's come?
Yeah.
It's been in the fridge for a couple of hours. Just stir it occasionally. Just sort of eyeball, spreading out 4. And we're going to spread our chocolate fondant over our lovely meringue layers. Can you smell that? Get your nose in there.
It's almost got like a chocolate caramel kind of vibe to it.
Yeah.
Like it's really shiny and glossy. Almost reminds me of like a dulce de leche. Do you know what I mean? Like it looks gorgeous.
Although it seems a bit of a faff making that fondant like that, somehow it makes it much, I'm going to say lighter, which is a strange thing to say for such a decadent dessert. But you know what I mean? It gets air into it. It's just delicious.
Like the process you did, you made a sabayon and then you just added everything to it. So it was really light and airy, and that's what makes it go so far without it being overly rich. It's why it just looks so inviting.
Yeah, see, you just know the proper names for it all. I'm just taught by my mum. And then a bit of self-teaching over the years. Okay, so we layer. And I'm doing it this way because this is the one little slightly fiddly bit. It's very, very easy to break a layer of the meringue. So I'm finding it easier to spread your chocolate fondant while they're on the flat plate rather than trying to do it on.
Absolutely, it gives you more support to apply a bit of pressure, right, and spread it out.
Honestly, don't panic too much if it does. You can put that cracked layer in the middle. It won't matter too much. And honestly, it will all taste the same in the end. Then just carefully spread that out.
Taking me everything not to just lick the bowl, Joe. I have to remember there's a camera.
Guess what I did when I was little? So, Mike, have you ever cooked anything like this? Have you seen this dessert before anywhere?
I've seen versions of, but I haven't seen this.
So, layer 3.
I thought we were almost done. I was ready to crack in.
No, you're not getting to eat it yet. It's got to go in the freezer. Okay, there's our top one on. And so all we need is some peels of chocolate or grated chocolate, whatever's easiest for you. Do you want to do this bit for me? Sure. I feel like I've not given you enough to do on this one.
I've observed and I've enjoyed every minute of it, Joe.
Yeah, so you just basically decorate the top with your dark chocolate. You can just use a grater or use a peeler as we're doing here. And then this is going to go into the freezer, let it set completely, so it'll take a couple of hours. And then we take a slice, and I'm even going to pour some beautiful cream over the top to serve. I think I have truly nailed the bad chef recipe here. That looks absolutely perfect, Mike, thank you.
No worries.
Okay, so let's pop it in the freezer. Mike, I reckon I did a fairly good job of being the bad chef here.
I reckon Joe's just got out around 20 years of frustration in one dish.
I am all for having a little decadence. You know, if you're going to go out with a dessert, you have the dessert, and this is the dessert. So, and now comes the moment of truth. So we've got the crunchy meringue. I'm going to slice through. And then just slice it off like it's a cake.
I promise you guys at home, I've never seen her as nervous.
I know.
As making her mum's recipe.
You do your mum's recipe. I'm like, don't stuff it up now.
Mum, shout out to you. Like, she's done a great job.
And then pull it out. How's that?
Look at that.
And then, just because, you add a little bit of pouring cream. Bad enough for you, Mike?
Oh, Joe. I need to have a bite of this. We going straight in?
Go for it.
Thank you. This looks absolutely...
You got to get a wee bit of that chocolate.
I did.
On there. You did. Okay, good.
The coffee's right at the forefront, hey?
Yeah.
Like, that's beautiful. That coffee, chocolate, crunchy meringue.
It's a grown-up dessert.
Yeah, love it.
Really rich and decadent. The fondant, I love that chocolate part. The crunch of the meringue, bit of the kick of coffee.
Beautiful. Well done, Mama.
Thanks, Mum.